Well, good evening. We've not done a lot, but I've got something to show you. Something exciting for me. Look, to get a bit more space, I've had a major clear out. Now, it don't look like it, I know, but I've taken 2 carloads to the tip. There were some old paint tins and all that cut. I've had all this out. And we have gained, 3 or 4 foot, so I've had to make a bit of room, haven't I, for my new stuff. So that's one thing. As I say, it's certainly the news of the century, because I think the last time was mid-80s when I chucked as much stuff out. I've taken 2 carloads to the tip. Anyway, we got the cutting discs. They were similar to the ones that I was using. These. They looked very similar to those, but they're for aluminium. I didn't know they did them. I should have done, because blimey heck, we had different grinding wheels for different materials, you know. However, I did just try it today, and I cut some pieces up like that. So I've done a few cuts. I've used one, but that's not a problem. You know, it's going to do the job. And I've also, in my clear up, had quite a nice, exciting major find, I think. Found some brass rod. There's 3 lengths of this. And I think that that'll do for the to connect to the piston, which will go there. My very good friend Steve, who we met through his videos, he's a very good videographer through the racing. You want to check him out. You better see cars running into each other at 60 miles an hour and crush them to death, you know, in half. You'll enjoy it. A to Z videos. I'll put a link in the comments. Anyway, he asked me if I could draw a plan. Well, I'm no good at drawing anyway. So we'll just have a go, very, very briefly and quickly, and see if I can show you something of the sort. Now, as I say, I'm absolutely terrible at drawing. So we've got the base. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'll hold it up at the end. There's the base. And then that piece that holds the crankshaft spindle goes on there like that, with a hole in. Then there is another piece which will go on there like that, something like that, with a hole there. So the crankshaft spindle runs through there. I tell you, I'm not very good at drawing, and we're not very good. Then another piece on here, which I've yet to do. We'll have another block on there like that. I'm trying to make the lines thick in the hope that you'll be able to see something. And then the barrel, which you've seen, will sit at a slight angle and will go something like this. Then we have a support here, and the piston, there'll be a rod that runs through there like that, and then the flywheel will sit here, but we're miles out of proportion, as I say. So lower down, obviously, in line with that, there will be the crank pin. And let's just draw something like this. This camera doesn't go dead close, as you know, so you're just going to, I'll show you a bit at the end. So say that there's the crank pin, so then we have a connecting rod from there to there. Then the other side, there has to be a camshaft which will ride in there like that. That presses on another shaft. There'll be a pillar there similar to this one, with a shaft going through it to the spool valve, which will sit something like this. I'm drawing some of it square and some of it in proportion, aren't I? So it's not very good. And then so the camshaft there pushes that rod and moves the spool valve which will be inside there, and that is the valve, and then it will be connected to the cylinder with a pipe. So it's fairly simple, but it's just to give you some idea, right? It may give you some idea, it may not. As I say, I'm not very good at drawing. Now I have another short demonstration for you tonight. Just today, at the bottom of the street, I popped out to the shop and someone was crossing in front, and I waved them across, and it happened to be someone I know, not seen for ages. And there was someone with her, and she said, "Oh, this is the famous Mark of Lincoln." She said, "Oh, Mark, that's her son," and he called here a couple of years ago briefly. He said he watches all your videos, so isn't that strange that we're not getting many views, but I seem to bump into everyone I talk to seems to be watching them, so that's encouraging, isn't it? Anyway, what it is, one of these pieces that I cut off, I don't think I'll need. It's a little bit small if I'm using that rod. So I've very quickly just filed 2 edges. So I just want to show you on a dial gauge, and then we'll have to pop it back on the thing. Now I've got to stand between the light and that so as not to glare, and I think you can see enough. This, by the way, this dial gauge, I put it on a soldering stand, and it's very unsteady in that, but I've got a sort of surface plate, haven't I? So you'll be able to see it move. That's the thing. Right, and it moves quite a lot, look, as I slide it underneath, and I can't watch the camera and watch what I'm doing, a bit difficult. Right, and there's a hollow there, you see. So we're just trying to show you, for the people that don't know, and I know 1 or 2 watch don't know, how it works. Now this, I can't get any closer because of course I'm on the wrong camera again, but as you can see, it, you know, it's somewhere near, isn't it? So that's how you use the dial gauge anyway, and I've shown you how to use the vernier, you know, to measure it that way. So we can file it fairly flat, you know, but anyway, we're waiting for the belt sander because it's going to be better. That's why the job's sort of stopped at the moment. So that's it. A little bit of interest, I hope. Sorry about my drawing skills aren't up to scratch, but it might give you an idea of what we're trying to do. I wonder if I can, well, if I do a side view, how about that? If I do a side view, I'm holding the camera this time. Right, there's the base, like that, and here is the flywheel spindle support, which goes there, like that, with a hole in there. The flywheel sits there, and on the end of it is another piece with the crank pin, and of course it's smaller than the flywheel because, you know, it's only 3/4 of an inch from there to there, come an inch half stroke. And then this end, we've got another piece of metal, bit of aluminium, bolted onto the base there. And again, it'll be at an angle. And then the barrel will sit something like this. I'm trying to do black lines and hold it back so it's not too blurred and you can see it. Then there will be another support here, and there will be, the piston goes in there, and a rod will come from there, and then the connecting rod will go from there to there. So as that turns round, the connecting rod will follow like that, and that has got a hinge just there. So that's what we're doing. And then the other side, let me have another bit of paper. I've got plenty. So the other side, we've got the base. Now we're looking from the other side. So this is the back side. That's the block now sits yon side. You've got the flywheel spindle support here, like that. That's that piece I showed you the other day. with a hole there. You've got another piece this side which I won't draw because it's going to get in the way. Then you've got a camshaft on it which is eccentric. I probably haven't drawn it enough eccentric. And then we have a mount here, somewhere here. I don't know where it'll go yet. A mount there, I don't know where it'll go yet. The spool valve sits on there, the housing for it, that's the, and then there's a rod, and all it is a rod that goes from there, and then there'll be a support here, and a rod goes from there through there to the camshaft. So as the cam goes round, if I draw it very eccentric like that, I'm sure you can understand that that then goes in and out and it pushes that rod which moves the spool valve in and out here, and we've got to have a pipe from the spool valve to the top of the cylinder, so there'll be a pipe running like something like that. Anyway, if that gives you a bit of an idea for those who don't. But as I say, once again, thanks for your support. You know, it's rather encouraging. And also, don't forget to have a look at Steve's videos. He's, you know, that's how we met, because he really does do some very good ones. He's got very many up. You can search his channel, go back a few years if you want to see whole races or clips, what he's done recently. Really is good with top cameras. Right. So I thought I'd just do this video today because we're now waiting. There's a lot of preparation, and it should be at the weekend when we get the sander, and then we should be in some sort of line. But what do you think of me clear out? Go. We've got a bit more room. Doesn't look like it, but we actually have quite a bit more room. Alright, thanks a lot. Cheers.